You patented
So for those wondering what this game is about, well, I would explain it and I could probably do a good job, but I'll let this guy explain for you.
Oh, hey, kid, I'm glad you're here. Thrillville is getting bigger than ever, and you're just the person to run the show. As park manager, you'll have to build lots of coasters and attractions and ride rides and talk to people and play games and have an absolutely incalculable amount of fun.
So how do you begin Thrillville? Well, just like any game, you just hit new game, you select the character. Then you have a few options that you can tweak with: the hairstyle, the head style, the hair color, the glasses, and the skin color. But unfortunately, there's not much that you can change. You can also change the clothes. But again, the customization here is very limited, unlike the rest of the game. But we'll get into that later when we talk about the gameplay. Like in all my videos, let's start with the graphics. Now, this game was made in 2007, so we'll be going off of their standards. Now let's go with the environments. In this game, there are 5 different parks that you can visit, all in Thrillville, obviously. Each have their own theme, but all these parks are very animated. Now, unlocking these other parts are just half the fun, as you can really explore and see the various designs that each park has. And because each park has different themes, they feature different types of rides and roller coasters. Being able to be on your rides and to look at the sky and to see your whole park that you just built is a very nice touch. But the problem is that the heads-up display will always come up when you're looking, so you can't really fully immerse yourself in the world that you've created. When it comes to looking and being on these roller coasters, the sense of speed is really amazing, and it really makes you feel like you're actually on a roller coaster. It's one great thing. Well, another thing that really deserves honorable mention is the graphic styles when it comes to every video game and minigame that you play. For every minigame, they have their own graphical style. Some look really 3D and futuristic, while games like this one, Bandito Chinchilla, looks like a regular 2D game. Whatever the style is, it adds a little flair to playing video games and to really make it feel like you're at an arcade playing these games.
With all my might.
Where we start to see chinks in the armor is in the character models. Almost every single character looks the same, and they all look ugly. The animations for the characters are also very stiff, and they don't move naturally like they should. As you can see here, when they're speaking, they keep doing the same gesture over and over and over again. Lip syncing is also as bad as well, so these characters look very blocky, they move like blocks, and their mouths move like blocks. So basically, it was bad art direction when it came to character models. So with the interesting environments coupled with the ugly character models, this game gets a 7 out of 10 for graphics. The character models and their animation are just too stiff, and that's what holds us back from being an 8 or even possibly a 9. Now on to the audio, and the first thing we're going to start out is with the music. To be honest, I enjoy the soundtrack. I don't know if it's probably pure nostalgia or whatever, but this reminds me of back in my teen years and back in high school when I was into all this stuff, going on amusement parks and all that stuff. And I feel like this music is very appropriate for the game. Well, one thing I will give this game credit is for the atmosphere. It does really well with the sound effects of the environment, and also in Thrillville, this game has a disc jockey who he's on the radio and he's talking and he's playing music and he's changing it up. So it really adds an atmosphere and it really gives that theme park feel to it. The voice work is actually really good, and also some of these responses are actually pretty funny. Just listen to this one.
You're like a broom. You swept me off my feet.
Unit just wants to be friends with creepy human.
For a majority of these minigames, the sound is really well done. However, some of the bad things and very minor complaints is some of the songs are actually really bad, which is one problem. Again, as I said, the voice work is actually pretty good. I mean, it's nothing Oscar nominee or anything like that, but the voice work is pretty good. The only problems is there's not that many diverse voices in the game. So as you talk to different people, they'll all say the same thing. You'll eventually start hearing the same phrases, which it kind of makes games and the social aspect feel a bit repetitive.
Yeah, they were okay.
It doesn't seem very fluid and dynamic with the audio, because you eventually, again, like I said, hear the same 5 or 6 lines from these same responses in the same voice as well. Every game you play also has the music to fit the theme of the game, which is kind of standard, but it again leaves a nice touch. But overall, there's not that many complaints when it comes to the audio, and the audio gets a 9 out of 10. The sounds are great, the music is great, the voices are pretty good, even though they do get repetitive, but overall, some pretty good sound. Now on to the gameplay. Now if you haven't realized what the gameplay is and what you're supposed to do, it's basically you run an amusement park. But unlike the Roller Coaster Tycoon series where everything is from an overhead view and you build from the top, you're actually the park manager and you walk around going to certain places to build. In this game there are many different rides and also games that you can play. The problem with all of these is when you place them, you are very limited on the areas that you can place these rides and games. This makes the customization feel somewhat limited, but doesn't really destroy it at all. Also, when you place down rides, it's not separated from thrill rides and gentle rides, so when people come to you and complain there needs to be more gentle rides, it's hard to determine what's a gentle ride. And same thing for a thrill ride, it's hard to determine what's a thrill ride, so it's kinda needs to be separated much better in order to give us a clearer picture, kinda like in the Roller Coaster Tycoon games. Along with managing your park and your rides and your games and your coasters, you also have to manage staff. And you have 3 types of staff. You have entertainers, your custodians, and your mechanics. And to train them, you're going to have to do minigames, which to me, I don't feel they're that bad. I mean, the only way to get better is to actually, practice your trade. So these minigames are not that bad. Plus, most of them are very quick and easy. Now, besides managing your park, there are also a list of objectives that you have to do, which are separated into various categories: builds, games, guests, upkeep, and manage. The objectives are somewhat varied, but overall they get pretty boring very quickly. In this game you also have various fetch quests that you have to do. I thought it was going to be a huge problem, but trust me, it really is not. Because man, your guy could run, whoever you pick. I mean, this guy has to be faster than Usain Bolt and have more stamina than even Mario. Plus, when it comes to objectives, each park is very varied. And one park will have, you have to prevent the critics from giving you negative reviews. Other ones will be, oh, you gotta get rid of the robots that are inhabiting your park. And others will be like, everyone's in a trance. So every park is unique in its own way. Now, as you progress through the game and the more you do, basically everything you do will earn you thrill points. And these thrill points will unlock new ranks, which will unlock new minigames that you can play in party mode. One thing that you'll realize very early is that there are a lot of minigames. You go from managing your park to just basically playing a lot of minigames. But you do have your good ones, like you do have this one, Bandito Chinchilla, which is a lot of fun. 2 players and playing single player campaign. And plus I have to mention this game because of this next cutscene that I will show you.
Pinnacle of park management, and you will be greatly rewarded. Perhaps I will even tell you why I am referred to as a chinchilla when I am in fact a dog. But don't count on it, old chap.
Spoiler alert, it never tells you. But you can also build racetracks in this game as well. And these racetracks you can place in certain areas, again, because since where you place things is very limited. And once you place these things in this area, you're able to build the track. And once you're finished building your track, you are actually able to race it with your friends and with the computer as well. Every park has its own type of track, which features its own type of racers. Some even have anti-gravity racers, which each add a little bit of dimension when it comes to the racing. But to be honest, I didn't feel too much of a difference, and it didn't feel that unique to me for the most part. My least favorite has to be Sparkle Island and Sparkle Quest. First of all, I have no clue what the hell is going on in either of these games. And second of all, these games are just boring and annoying. This one's a side scroller, and man, it is so boring. And plus I'm confused what the hell is happening any of the time. This one I don't recommend. So enough with the mini games. It's all about making coasters and making amusement parks, because that's what Thrillville is all about. So you have your coasters, and each coaster in this game provides these whoa tricks that you can use, these whoa pieces I should say. And what they do is they add a little flair, but they also add a little bit to the wackiness of this game. How you can really launch somebody across the thing, or you don't even have to complete a roller coaster to begin with, as you can just leave it as itself so it can crash. And as it crashes, the passengers inside the coaster will just jump out on a parachute and actually land. So either way, you can have a lot of fun. Going through fire hoops, hitting TNT alleys, running through brick walls. Like anything you want to do, you can have it in Thrillville. The wackiness is just insane, and it makes this game a lot better. So what are some complaints? Well, first off, the minigames are very easy, and almost all the missions that you play as are easy to get gold on. And Global Joy is the evil bad guy, but it seems like in this game there's no real tension, because it seems like even though all your parks has these problems, it's not a significant thing. And plus, when you manage your park, you're always making money. Never once was I losing money, which kind of takes a bit of the fun out of actually managing a park, to really see what do I do next. Sure, you can research and market and all that, but it's not really necessary since you're guaranteed to make money. But even as a kid, and even in my younger years when I was playing this game seemed very easy to me even during the time. And I know it was supposed to be designed for a younger audience, but like I said before, even though I was younger at the time, this was still a very easy game to me. Plus, even though the mini games are very fun, I feel like there was a little bit too much focus on them, and that's why this game gets an 8 out of 10 for gameplay. The wacky roller coasters are a lot of fun. The racetracks are fun when you play as them, because at least you get to build them and play as them, but there are some niches in the armor, such as, like I said before, too much focus on the minigames and not enough focus on actually managing a park, and actually just a little bit more difficulty, so I actually focus more on my finances, since finances is never a problem in this game. Now for the closing thoughts. Well, what can I say? This game was made in 2007, supposed to be the spiritual successor to the Roller Coaster Tycoon series. And trust me, this game is a lot of fun to have, but the longevity of it is just not that long. The reason why is because since every park is only limited in so much in what you can build and the areas you can build, it quickly fills up with your imagination, and there's not much left. But either way, the journey is fun, the mini games are cool, and the missions can have a little bit of fun as well. And that's why this gets an 8.5 out of 10. There's a lot of fun to be had with this game, and I can only wish that there was another one that's been here, because this is the last Thrillville game ever made. So hopefully they have another one to iron everything out, focus more on park management, and this will be one hell of a game. This is Pow3rh0use, signing off.